What was meant to be a carnage of Reds forming the US midterms on Tuesday wasn't exactly the bloodbath pundits, pollsters and the Republicans had anticipated. In Texas and in Florida, Republican governors Greg Abbott and Ron De Santis were swept back into office. And although the Republican wave wasn't what it was, that isn't going to stop the former US President Donald Trump announcing that he will run for president in 2024. Because Trump is expected to formally nominate on November 14th. Or will he rethink his position? Join us is our US correspondent to discuss all that is America, is Katie Dixon. Welcome, Katie.
Hi, Michael. How you doing?
Good, thanks. Now, a lot different than what the predictions were, the midterms.
Certainly. And we're still waiting, obviously, to find out what is going to happen. Everyone did expect it to switch. Normally when there's a Democratic president during the midterms, it overturns and the Republicans take control again. And we thought we were going to see that. We thought we were going to see a huge wave of red across the country. And tonight, the night after Election Day, we are still waiting. Currently, the Republicans are ahead when it comes to the House. But with the Senate, last time I checked, it was 48-48. And we could be waiting a little while. There is a runoff race in Georgia, and that's expected to happen in December. And that's the big one that everyone's looking towards. So we might not know until then how this is going to fall. No one has called it yet. They're not making any predictions or anything like that. So we're kind of just in limbo right now.
And how did Nancy Pelosi fare?
I'd be lying if I said I didn't check. Look, we were covering the elections last night locally in Lamar County. We had a U.S. congressman race that we were covering, and then obviously Texas. In the early hours of the ballots coming in, Beto was in front of Greg Abbott, and then obviously that flip-flopped, which we expected anyway. And Greg Abbott was one of the first ones they called. And then obviously, like you said, Florida, that was a huge victory over there as well. So I know that they're very nervous. I'm sure Pelosi is very nervous. But with that being said, they are also very positive, saying that this is a great thing that the Republicans didn't just sweep, and that they still think that they could hold the House, they could hold the Senate as well. But many are predicting the Republicans will take over, but we have to wait at this point.
Now, in your state of Texas, after some of the shootings, there was some chatter that may go against them, and Beto O'Rourke may get a bit of a leg up on the back of that emotion.
Yeah, absolutely. And many people came out voicing their opinions and support for Beto, and using especially Uvalde as the example. Texas is a very gun-friendly state, if you will. So I think that wasn't ever going to be an issue towards the end of it. That's definitely what he ran with, Beto. But this is the second time he has lost. I believe the second time he's lost to Abbott. He says he's not giving up, but Abbott is got a big backing here in Texas, like him or not. I think we're going to see him around for a lot longer.
Now, Ron De Santis, emphatic win. Does this put the brakes on Donald Trump putting his hand up? Do you think, will Donald Trump's ego deal with not getting the nomination? Will this make him more hesitant to nominate, or more likely, do you think?
Honestly, there hasn't been much chatter about Trump or anyone running for president right now. I was reading earlier that they are actually there are some that are saying that Trump should hold off on making the announcement until we know who holds the Senate and the House, and that Trump should be throwing his support and efforts into the runoff race in Georgia. Like I said, that's a big one. That's going to make a big difference with the Senate. So we're waiting to see. Trump is known to do what he wants, regardless of what he's advised. We may see an announcement in the next few days, or he may take some advice and just support the Georgia race, support the Republican running over there, and see what happens. Biden is still saying that he's looking to run. No formal announcements yet. Again, DeSantis is talking about him as well. So there's all kinds of chatter going on, nothing solid. We're not really getting much on it right now. And all eyes are really just on if we're going to be able to flip the Senate to Republican.
Yeah. DeSantis seems to be the perfect conservative nominee. He's traditionally conservative, if that's your bent, but without all of the baggage that Trump has. Surely there's a lot of Republicans quietly hoping that DeSantis gets in, because Trump could really prove to be a distraction for the Conservatives taking the presidency in a couple of years, couldn't he?
Oh, I'm sure he's got a lot of backing. Love him or hate him, Trump did achieve a lot while in office. And even a lot of Republicans that I've spoken to, they didn't agree with a lot that he said or how he was on social media, but they even said they didn't like him, just as the person and his attitude and things like that. But he did do good things. He wasn't afraid to stand up for America, do what was right, protect America, put America first. And that's what a lot of people loved about him. And so whether that they stick with that because of how the world is right now, things going on in other countries that America's involved in, and do they want someone to come back that isn't afraid, that is just going to go out there and do what he has to do to protect America? We don't know what DeSantis will do. Obviously, everything points towards that he would do the same. But then you've got the Californian governor, Gavin Newsom, that is, the West Coast DeSantis. We've got two big figures on either side of the country, and there's talk that he's going to run for president too. So it will definitely be interesting to see who is nominating, and then obviously who wins for each party. I think if Trump does put his hand up and try to run again, I think it'll come down to DeSantis and Trump, definitely.
Gee, the possibility of the two presidential candidates, Newsom and DeSantis, they are polar opposites. They're both fairly young, handsome men, but with just complete different ideologies. That would be a real battle for ideologies, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. On total opposite ends of the spectrum, especially with guns and abortion and all that stuff. We've got Newsom on one side that's welcoming everybody from any state if they seek an abortion. And then, you've got DeSantis on the other end that, supports, he's on the Republican side. He's not against the guns. He's not against all that. He does want, stricter laws and things like that. But you just got two total polar opposites. That would definitely be a race that I'd be interested in seeing. We just don't know at this stage.
Yeah, it'd be fascinating. It really is the opportunity to hold the mirror up to America and get a really good picture of who they currently are, not who they were or who they're going to be, but at that moment in time, the two of them running against each other would be a great one. Now, why didn't the tidal wave, the red surge, happen in the volume, the magnitude that it was predicted, do you think, Katie? Was abortion a step too far?
A lot of talking about that, obviously. Obviously that has divided the nation over here. And we've seen, when you look at the polls and you break down the genres, sex and race and who's voting, we saw, them switching sides, and we didn't expect, we had a lot of white women that they were reporting that flipped from Democrat to Republican. We had mostly Hispanics and Black flip to or continue to support Democrats, which has always been the way. So I think that it definitely played a factor in it. And I think a lot of people were hoping that, the low approval ratings of Biden was what was going to switch and have this red tidal wave. Surprisingly, that didn't happen. And it definitely could have been because of the recent abortion laws and Biden, saying he wanted to, reverse that, changed it again. So that definitely could have played a huge, huge role in it.
But one takeaway we can definitely see, the polls didn't get it right again.
No, they didn't. And it kind of shocked everybody. But like I said, we're still waiting, and there's still predicting the Democrats will lose the Senate. The Republicans will take over. Like I said, the Republicans are in front with the House, but it's literally tied 48 and 48 with the Senate right now. And I believe we're waiting on 4 or 5 more to come in. So we are down to, I mean, it's going to be 1 seat difference. I guarantee it. So it's going to be a tight race, but they still are predicting the Republicans can do it. We're just going to have to wait and see.
Yep. And Trump-backed nominees, is he still the kingmaker?
You know, he backed a lot of people that were reelected. He backed a lot of people that, you know, took the seat from a Democrat, but he lost a lot as well. He backed a lot of people that did lose. So I don't think he won in that sense of backing people, the Republicans to take over as much as we thought he would. But he's laying a little low right now. And I guess in the next few days, we're going to hear from him or find out what's going to happen.
Right. All right. Well, Katie Dixon, all the way from Texas. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Michael.